All right. Welcome to the Ultra High Net Worth Clients Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Broadhead. We started this podcast as a way to create a central resource of the best financial advisor practice growing tips shared by the most outstanding advisors in the industry, of which our guest today is definitely one. These outstanding financial advisors agree to be on the show and provide a ton of value for free, all in the hopes that our audience might learn from their words. My father was a financial advisor, and financial advisors are the main clients we serve. So, my marketing agency's mission is to help every advisor grow their business in an effort to help the world become more financially secure. Today, we have the rare pleasure of talking with an incredible financial advisor, Maggie Koosa. Maggie, can you
How you
introduce
doing?
yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
So my name's Maggie Koosa. I run the Alchemists. So I'm the CEO and head financial advisor. Um, we deem ourselves the wealth concierge because we help our people with anything and everything that they might need in their financial lives.
Mm, awesome. Awesome. So, I perused your LinkedIn, uh, before this interview, and I noticed you were a math teacher
I
before
was
a financial
for
advisor.
12 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's now I don't shake my finger at kids anymore. I do this to adults and the teenagers listen better. Like it's terrible. But
Oh, wow. Okay. Maybe, yeah, maybe some of these adults could, take some lessons from their kids. But, yeah, tell me how you went from math teacher to uh, financial teacher to adults.
so that would be because of my parents. So I come from a family of educators, and my dad taught in the public school system for the better part of 40 years. And he was told by his insurance guy that he could retire, he could take his pension, his social security, and they would be making more money in retirement than they were when he was working.
Mhm.
Clearly, that sounded like a good idea because he had been working for so long, and my mom as well. And I was a high school math teacher. My sister was a tiny human teacher. My older brother was an English teacher, like, it's the family gig, and, it turned out that he couldn't get his pension and his Social Security. So, the windfall elimination provision, or WEP, um,
Mm.
the second page in everyone's Social Security statement came and took 2/3 or, like, 3/4 of his Social Security, so he ended up ringing the bell to stop teaching just to come to find out, nope, he has to go back to teaching.
Mm.
So, needless to say, that infuriated me. I was a little frustrated anyway, politics, in education. I was there for the tiny humans, not politics. So I decided to step out of that and I said, where else do they need a Girl Scout like me? Financial services industry. Because if I had been in the industry, my dad never would have gotten that crap advice. Oh.
Mhm.
So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go in and help people like my parents and make sure that they get good advice and good information instead of I don't know what I'm talking about and therefore I'm just gonna throw something out there that sounds good. Like, no, no more.
Mhm. Oh, wow. Okay. That's great. So you were inspired to uh reverse the trend of bad advice and start giving folks good advice.
It may not be what they want to hear, but I always tell my people, I'm like, if you want sugarcoating, I'll get you a donut. That's not my jam. It's my jam to tell you what you need to know and what you need to hear. So
Mhm. That's awesome. So how did you, take your first steps toward diving into this industry?
so I started out at Prudential. Um,
Mhm.
Good company, not really my jam. Um, I'm more about building relationships and they are very systematic. You go out on an appointment, you should be, bringing paperwork with you. I said, I'm really not going to do that. I don't know what these people need. So I wanted to build relationships, but Prudential was a very good place to start because they gave you what are called orphans, which are people with Prudential policies that oftentimes their advisor or agent is it there anymore? And so we would go out and meet with these people, kind of review what they have going on. I'd educate them about what they had and then have a conversation with them about what else do you have going on? What else do you have questions on? What might you need help with? So I built up kind of a base before I jumped ship. I went over to another broker dealer, did not have the best experience there because again, I want to build relationships with my people and support them and not treat them as little walking paychecks. So, yeah. So then I went to the RIA space and here I am.
Mhm. Nice, nice. Did you always, kinda see yourself going down the entrepreneurial path, like
I
starting
came
your
from a,
own thing?
I came from a house, a family full of teachers, Chris. Like, no, my mom always said, you go into teaching, it's a steady paycheck. There's job security. They'll give you a pension, health benefit. Um, but after busting my butt for over a decade, I found that I could only go so far and that it didn't matter how hard I worked. I wasn't going to go any further, which for somebody who works as hard as I do, that's really hard pill to swallow. And then having other people who are older than you hardly doing anything or just kind of like punching a clock and making more and not caring, like I can't go to work and not give a crap. That's
Mhm.
just not in my DNA. So
Yeah. Yeah, you strike me as, a lot of people's favorite teacher probably during that.
it's a nice mix of I'm empathetic and yet sarcastic. So I got to, well, I mean, I think about it. I got to graduate from college, go in, I got to harass teenagers. I got my weekends off. I was like, and you're going to pay me for this? This is amazing. Oh, and I use the same sarcasm and a bit of snark on my people, but they seem to appreciate it because you have to keep a sense of humor about these things.
Mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. So, how did your experience teaching impact your experience in the advisor space?
So much of what we do is education.
Yep.
So many of my people don't have any idea what they have. So you first meet with a couple and you're like, all right, so tell me about you. What do you have going on? And they'll give you a rundown of their 401ks and we own the house and we're going to vacation here, whatever. And I was like, cool. I was like, that's all great. You guys have life insurance? Well, well, do we have do you have life insurance? But I was like, you don't know? Well, I think I'm covered through work. You think, huh? Okay. Well, what about disability? What if you were to have a skateboarding accident and break a hip? I think I had that through work too. I'm like, you think. So I
Mhm.
find a lot of times I spend a lot of time getting to know them and just peppering them with questions because they don't know what they have. And they oftentimes don't see how them not knowing is going to bite them in the butt later. And I said, when you bust yourself, that is not the time to try to find this disability policy that I think I took out in the 1990s and it's stuck in a drawer somewhere, or I might be covered through work,
Yeah.
or God forbid somebody were to die. How are we going to pay the mortgage? Like, no, you need to know these things. And so many people, yeah, I have investments. I don't have any annuities. I have investments. Okay, cool. Can I see your statement? They're all invested in all annuities. No. That's not an annuity. Yes, it is. I was thinking it behaves a whole lot different in stocks and bonds. So I find I spend about 90% of my time educating people on what they have, what their concerns are or should
Mhm.
be. And then, okay, well, what we have in place and what is available, we need to develop a plan to figure out how we're going to address this. And a lot of people, they're afraid to ask questions, similar to math class. I don't want to look dumb. I don't
Mm.
want to let anybody else know that I don't know everything. So they take advantage of me. So I'm just going to just sit there and go, "Mhm." And I was like, you have no idea what I'm talking about. And they're like, nope, I don't. I was like, guys, you have to ask questions. And they're like, yeah, but I feel so stupid. I work with a doctor and a professor, brilliant people in their field. And I hear from them all the time, like, I feel so dumb. I should know this. I said, why? I know nothing about my appendix. I know it's in there. I know if it hurts, it should probably come out. I said, but that's about
Yeah.
it. I said, you're an internist. That's your jam. You could tell me all about it. And the husband is a professor. He's in IT. I expect my computer to turn on when I hit the button. And if it doesn't, I get frustrated. I said, so I know nothing about what you do. Like, that doesn't make me dumb. It's just not what I do.
Yeah.
So it's insurance, investment. It's a different language. And we need to help our people understand the basic vocab and help them get the basic concepts, because you can't speak a foreign language if you don't know any of the words.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. So, you kinda you went through your wirehouse, experiences and your brokerage experiences, and then you were like, "RIA all day." How did you get traction? How did you get momentum once you started the
so
RIA?
I took all my people with me. Um,
Mhm.
when you care about people and they know and understand that you actually care about them, they'll follow you anywhere. So when I left Prudential, um, all my people came with me. There wasn't a doubt. They're like, all right, where are we going? Okay, kids, we're
Wow.
coming over here. So I got my 6 and 63 right off the bat. And I wanted to get my 65, but I was told, no, no, wait. No, no, I should not have waited, because the Series 65 allows you to get assets under management. And it's really hard to gain traction if you are just, you eat what you kill, right? So if I didn't sell a life insurance policy this week, I don't get paid. It's really hard to stay in the industry if you're just doing, you eat what you kill. When you're allowed to gain assets under management, that's a steady Eddie paycheck that you get every single month. That, you know what? I didn't sell any insurance this month. That's okay. I'm still getting paid on my assets under management. So
Mhm.
having a little bit of assets under management and then gathering more as I went along, that helped tremendously, because it takes the pressure off. I mean, you don't want to walk into somebody's home going, I need to make a sale. I need to make a sale. Because what if they don't
Mhm.
need anything? You're going to find yourself possibly selling something to somebody that they don't need. And no one wants to do that. No one should want to do. Although I've worked with a few bosses that are like, Mag, it's not personal, it's business. It's personal. That's somebody's money. That's time away from family. Of course, it's personal. Who says that?
Mhm. Wow. Um, that's awesome. So I think a lot of our listeners, none of our guests are in wirehouses. Any advice for those folks who kind of want more freedom and want to be able to offer their clients more options on how to transition from wirehouse to you know
I'm
independent?
I'm in the process of stealing an advisor from Merrill,
Hmm.
because that's exactly it. The lack of freedom.
Yeah.
Um, you need to be aware. I'm like, well, you need to have a plan. So you don't want to just go off willy nilly, be like, nope, I'm good. Just pull the cord. They have to talk to a variety of different firms. So, for example, um, RIAs, there are some RIAs that you can literally, it's turnkey. You show up, here are the clients that you're going to be managing, manage them, whatever. And it's pretty much like a bank job. You show up, you get a paycheck, but you don't own any of the book. Right. And if that's your thing, if that's your jam, you just want to show up, a wirehouse might be the best place for you. Like, just stay there. You're going to get a salary, and I can't say that there's security in that, because they could let you go and you don't have a book. But
Hmm.
some people like just punching a clock and just showing up and knowing that they're going to have people to work with. If people are more entrepreneurial, they want to interview a number of different firms. So the difference between RIA and, let's say, Prudential would keep 55% of everything I brought in. That's a
Hmm.
lot. And it didn't matter how much I brought in. They would keep 55%. And I said, what? And I then bad words floating over my head. And I just looked at him like, are you insane? Like, even when I'm bringing in $1 million to $10 million a year, you're still going to take 55%? Nope. I felt like teaching. I'm going to bust my hump and you're going to take most. No, no, no. We're good here. An RIA will allow you to keep up to 95% of what you bring in, but you want to kind of shop it around. So I've interviewed a number of different RIAs, and some of them will put you in a grid. And if you hit, certain assets under management, whatever, oh, we'll move you up. So you'll get 75% or 80 or 85% and so on. So you want to be careful. You want to ask questions. Try to find somebody who's done it before. The way I got into it was I knew a friend who was a financial advisor. So financial advisors out there, make friends with other financial advisors. There's so much out there that so many advisors operate under a sense of scarcity. There's no, no, this is mine. You can't have any, get away. I don't have all the best ideas. You don't have all the best ideas. Like, if we collaborate with other advisors, we'll learn stuff. They're probably doing stuff better than we are, at least in some areas, and vice versa. But I picked her brain and I said, I know that you were with Ameriprise and now you're making a move. Why? Where are you going? What were you looking for? Because I didn't know what I
Mm.
did. And I didn't know what questions to ask. And it's hard to make that jump when you don't know. And you don't want to, I had a family to take care of, right? So I can't just jump and be like, it'll be fine. Fine's a 4-letter F word. We need to dot our I's and cross the T's. Like, you can't just do that. It's like jumping out of a plane. Is my parachute going to work, or did I grab somebody's backpack? Like, we need to have some sense of certainty, but find somebody who you know or you don't know. Connect to somebody on LinkedIn who you see has made the jump. Ask questions, because
Mhm.
for the most part, I believe people are good and I believe people will try to help others. And if somebody approached me who was asking questions, I'm going to be honest with them. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's, this industry seems, like, surprisingly open and friendly and helpful, and everyone seems to want the best for everyone else, you
that's the way it
even
should be.
competitors, so,
Yeah,
yeah, that's, but you're the first guest to put it so, succinctly, so
I
thank you
appreciate that.
for that reminder. That's awesome. So, okay, so you left the wirehouse. You were able to bring over a lot of your clients. Did they fight you for the clients? Like, offer any
Well,
resistance?
credential, it's like leaving the mafia. A lot of people would just want to pack up their desk and like leave in the middle of the night. I actually
Yeah.
gave notice. So it kind of
Hmm.
threw my bosses off because they're like, wait, you're telling us you're leaving? Yes. Like, why wouldn't I give notice? Like, that's just insane to me.
Yeah.
Um, but, oh, you're not allowed to call anyone or whatever. But all of my people, so I don't have clients, I have people. All of my people had my cell phone.
Mm.
Advisors, your clients should have your cell phone. They shouldn't just have the office number. Like, I'm just saying. So Prudential
Yeah.
sent out a letter. Hey, she's no longer here. All my people turned around and I had spoken with them ahead of time, right? Because you're not allowed. So those of you who are looking to jump ship, you can't oftentimes turn around and call them. Hey, I just left Prudential. Let's schedule time to meet. You can't do that. So I spoke with my people ahead of time. I said, this is my plan. This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. I think I'm going to be able to, I'll be better off and I believe I'll be able to better provide for you guys.
Hmm.
This is what I'm doing. So I won't be able to reach out to you, but give me a call. Um, give me a call and we'll set something up. All of my people did. Uh,
Wow.
you know, they, they got a letter while down Reed, the other broker deal I went to did the exact same thing. And it was my manager who was very angry with the fact that I was leaving and sent out a letter to all my people, and he was giving all of my people to this other advisor. And all my people were like, we want nothing to do with this woman. Where are we going? Great. Send us the paperwork. Fantastic. So it's a matter of good advisors are hard to find. And if they know like and trust you, they will stay with you because they know that you will try to take care of them. They're not just going to go, oh, it's fine, whatever. If you are having people they're fine with you leaving and they're not going with you, you need to reevaluate the kind of relationships you're having with your people.
Hmm. That's awesome. I was imagining like a Jerry Maguire-esque scenario, but much more positive outcome.
Yeah.
That's great. So do you have any advice on how to strengthen the relationships between you and your clients or people? I love that you call them your people as well.
Well, clients, it just sounds like, oh, my customers. Uh,
Yeah,
they're my people. A lot of them
my people.
I've become friends with, and some of them are like surrogate parents. So I'm like, um, I have a brother from another mother down in Florida. Like he
Hmm.
moved from Massachusetts down to Florida, and I still work with him because I can work. An RIA can work pretty much all over the country. A broker
Hmm.
dealer, you need to have your blue sky licenses in each state, which is a nightmare. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
another plug. Go RIA. Go. Um,
Amen.
so you want to check in, right? So for example, 2020 was my biggest year up until like this year. It was my biggest year
Mm.
because I called and I checked in with my people. They're like, Mag, why are you calling? The market is in the crapper. I said, I'm calling because the market is in the crapper. I was like, I want to make sure you're good. You like, this is we're going to be okay. I understand things are dropped. It will be okay. We're not going to sell everything. We're not going to panic. Do you need anything? Do you need to make a withdrawal to get you by? Like, are you good? How's the family? Is everyone okay? Type thing. And so I checked in with them, and some of them were like, our other advisor, is hiding underneath his desk. And said, please keep in mind, that's why he's your older advisor. You're not working with him anymore. I was like, I'm not
Mm.
hiding underneath my desk. You need me. I'm here. Call if you need anything. Like, and I had people who were like, my advisor will call me back, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, what are you concerned about? What? And we would talk about it. And I took a look at statements. I got so many people to come over because I was willing to answer their questions. Like, how insane is that? Of course, you're going to answer a
Mhm.
question. You wouldn't think that that was huge prospecting, but it is. You listen, I was at my PT's office. I now work with my PT and all this staff because I'm willing to answer questions. But you want to check in on your people at least once a quarter. Give them a call. Hey, this is what the markets are doing. This is any adjustments that I made. This is how I see things going, moving forward. Do you have any questions? Check in. How's the family? Oh, I know your daughter was expecting. Was it a boy or a girl? Um, you know, you check in with them and make sure that they are good. They don't have any questions or concerns. Because if you only check in with them once a year, you have any idea how many of their advisors are probably checking in with them?
No.
Also, I would encourage everyone to have their insurance licenses.
Mhm.
Because if you're like, no, no, I don't want to handle insurance, somebody else is talking to your people about insurance.
Mm. Mhm.
I'm I'm licensed in I can do Medicare, healthcare, um, life insurance, long-term care, property and casualty. Do I sell all of these? No, I don't. I don't. But I'm licensed so that I can talk to my people. And if they need something, you have questions on Medicare or whatever, I'll ask. Great. My girl Amy, she's fantastic. I will send you over to her. She'll reach out. Or property and casualty. You own rental properties and you don't have an umbrella. Well, that's a problem. Okay, so let's talk about that. Great. I'm going to send you over to Patty. Patty's going to take care of it. She's going to walk you through. So it's you become the go to for everything. I get calls. Should I rent or lease, or should I lease or buy a car? Should I refinance? Should I do a reverse mortgage? My daughter's getting
Mhm.
married. What kind of estate documents do you think she needs? We're having a baby. How can we fund college planning? It becomes, you become everything, which is the way you want it, because then you become the go-to. So if anyone in their life is like, hey, I have a question on whatever. They're like, oh, I got you. My girl Maggie over here, she knows everyone. And that's what you want to do because they know you care about them and you are serving as a resource and you educate them. So they're not scared. I always tell my people, asking questions is a sign of intelligence, not a sign of ignorance. It's a sign of intelligence. You understand that you don't know something and you're going to find out about it. Burying your head in the sand is no way to go about it.
Mhm. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I really, it sounds like you develop like very strong relationships with your people. But really, I mean, just calling once a quarter to check in, be like, hey, I just want to check in, see how you're doing, make sure everything's okay. See if you got any questions. Like that could just move mountains, I feel.
Well, because, oh yeah, no, I've been meaning to call you. One of our CDs
Yeah.
came up and, whatever. Or my mom passed away and I just inherited 50 grand. Like
Mhm.
I've run so much business this year just from my quarterly calls.
Yeah.
My brother just retired. I told him he was did he reach out to you? Oh, we need to yell at Brian. He didn't reach out, whatever. And I was like, yeah, let him know, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It a lot can happen. A lot can happen with a quarterly call.
Uh,
Again,
yeah.
hey, do you have a second? You're only going to take like a minute or two of their time
Yeah.
checking in,
Hmm.
and they
No,
know that you're thinking about them.
yeah, that would leave me feeling all warm and fuzzy. So,
I try.
uh, awesome, awesome. Okay, so you transferred all your folks, your people over to your new glorious freedom filled RIA.
Yes.
Um, and what how long ago was that, or when was this that you went
September
independent?
5th, 2017.
2017. Okay, so you know kind of not that long ago, but not that short ago. Um, how how did you continue your upward trajectory? How did you find new clients as an RIA?
Well, a lot of my people would introduce me to their people, um,
Mhm.
which is good, but I listen. I listen really well. Like my PT, for example, he and his wife both own their own PT practice, but I listen and I would hear them complain or hear them ask questions and I would answer their questions. I'm like, and I would always say, Mike, if you want me to take a look, I can. Like it's not a big deal. But I listened a lot and I would ask questions. Um, and I work a lot with my Medicare person. She's amazing and she knows people. And so she'll introduce me to, business owners or whoever. So I would get introduced. I don't really market. Um, I, you think about it when you're like, hey, I need a good advisor. You look at commercials on the TV for that. Like, let me Google good financial advisor. No, you don't. You ask around. You base it off of other people's experiences. Oh, so and so, likes his guy or his girl, and you might, interview them or whatever. But I find no, I meet people. We go on a cruise every year, and I'll meet people at line 5 o'clock in the morning, airport, standing in line, waiting, security, just chatting. Oh, they're business owners. Oh, cool. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Well, what do you do? I'm a financial advisor. It's like I own my own firm. I was like, I love what I do. I get to help people, grow and plan for their future. Like this is amazing. And they can feel the energy off of me, the fact that I love they're like, you know what? Our financial advisor sucks. He's an old white guy. He doesn't listen, blah, blah, blah. And we want to do this, that. And he says, no, that's not how we do it. And I was like,
Mm.
we can have a conversation. I was like, I'm not going to yell at you and tell you you shouldn't want what you want to do. So it's listening. I didn't find a whole lot of value in networking. Like when I say
Mhm.
networking, I mean going to the networking events
Yes.
because you're going with a whole mess of other financial advisors. I'm a financial advisor, and immediately you get this. I'm good. I already have an advice. We're good here. And I was like, not looking to sell you anything. Like, but how many other financial advisors? This is why you need to work with me. Here's my card. Blah blah blah. No one wants that. So I stopped going to those.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I now do actually, I do dinner seminars. So
Oh,
that's,
cool. Yeah,
um,
yeah.
well, because I get to educate people and they get to ask questions, right? We're
Mhm,
immediately building rapport. They're either going to like me or they don't. That's fine. Whatever.
mhm,
I don't want to work with everyone. Um, but it gives them an opportunity to actually meet you in person and actually
mhm,
discuss stuff that in public you don't really discuss. I mean,
mhm,
money is kind of a taboo. So, um, so I've been doing that, but I don't market. I mean,
mhm.
it's just white noise. Or I love people on LinkedIn who connect with you and then send you like 6 paragraphs on why I should work with them. And I was like, you immediately lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know those people, and you're like, oh, yeah, disconnect, disconnect,
Yeah.
disconnect.
Yeah. It's like, are you even a real person? What is this?
Or do you get them friend requesting you on LinkedIn and then saying, hey, I checked out your profile. I think franchising is for you. Have you ever considered owning a business? And I was like,
Did you check out?
did you check out my profile? Because I kind of own a business. Like,
Yeah, I'm already you're right
so
about a part of that.
I'm like, it kills. It's just white noise. I read in a
Yeah.
book, I don't remember which book it was. I read a lot, as you could tell.
Mhm.
If other people in your field are doing this thing, stop that immediately. Everybody's doing it. You stop that immediately.
Was it Blue Ocean Strategy?
No, I haven't read
Some
that one.
some similar sentiment out of that one. Yeah. That's awesome. Mm. So, okay, so yeah, the dinner seminar. So my father was a financial advisor for Raymond James from 82 to 2005. So just over 20 years or so, 23 years, if my math is
Nice.
correct. And he built a 330 million AUM practice off
Wow.
dinner seminars. He would have a Thursday night Red Lobster free dinner
Love it.
that he paid. This was back when people read newspapers. He gave the St. Pete Times, which is now the Tampa Times. I think he paid 3 or 4 thousand bucks a month to be in the Sunday paper or in every paper. I'm not sure, or every issue, and they would just get 30, 40 people to show up, and he would book meetings with a couple of them and close a couple of them every meeting. So that dinner seminar, there's something
It's
magic there.
huge. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
and I just let go my marketing guy or one of marketing guys because they're all like, oh, LinkedIn, you should do webinars and podcasts and awesome. I was like, kid, I don't have time for that. I don't want to do that. If I'm going to spend time doing that, I want it to be in person
Mhm,
because you can't replace that rapport. You just can't.
mhm,
And being able to ask a question or hear somebody else ask a question and see how this person is going to operate off the cuff. Like it's priceless. It's priceless. I've
mhm.
had some of my biggest people thus far. I'm working with a $15 million couple that came into to a dinner seminar. Here,
Wow.
we don't know what we should be doing. These are our goals. I was like,
Fix them.
okay, okay, I got you. Um, can you help us with this? Yes, yes,
Yeah.
I can. Like,
Oh, wow.
and because they didn't know who else to talk to, and they said we've been to a number of these, and we actually learned a lot because
Mhm,
I built my own presentation, built my own because I didn't like any of the ones that were out there. Because oftentimes dinner
mhm.
seminars, come on in, I'm going to feed you a rubber chicken dinner, and I'm going to beat you over the head until you buy an annuity. And I was
Mm,
like, "Mm, I don't want to do that. And I tell my people right off the bat, I'm like, just a heads up. If this is what you were expecting, I apologize. I'm going to disappoint. No one will judge you if you leave now. Like, if that's what you're looking for, there's the door. And then we talk about all sorts of things that advisors aren't talking to them about, which is huge.
mm,
Stocks, bonds, mutual funds. This is how we've always done. No, not anymore. Higher net worth
mhm.
individuals don't like, they hear about that stuff all the time. They can Google it. Well, I read it on Morningstar. They're looking for stuff they don't know because they don't know what they don't know. And that's what frightens them.
Hmm. Nice. So what's kind of getting your folks' attention and potential new people's attention these
Two
days?
huge things: taxes and IRMAA.
Taxes and IRMAA. Wait, what's
IRMAA.
IRMAA?
IRMAA is, I always say, she's a heinous wench you want to avoid your retirement. IRMAA, IRMMA. If
Hmm.
any advisors out there who don't know about this, Google it and learn about it. You can actually become IRMAA certified, which I'm in the midst of.
Hmm.
It is a surtax on Medicare. So everyone's going to get Medicare. Great. Some of us are going to pay a whole lot more than others. And that could be as much as $1,000 a month to a couple extra.
Hmm.
And people don't know about it. And higher net worth individuals, that's where they're going to get whacked. They're going to have 85% of their Social Security, their pensions fully taxed, IRA fully. I call it death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Hmm.
I said, that's exactly what's going to happen. Taxes, it's inevitable. Taxes and death. No. I think it was Morgan Stanley who said, you have to pay taxes, but nobody said there's no law that says you got to leave it. So my job
Mhm.
is to strategize and help my people become more informed about their options, about how we can become more tax efficient and not just kind of stand there and get taxed to death. We do a lot with Roth conversions, a lot with alternatives. Tax strategy is huge, and IRMAA plays a role in that because a lot of people have no idea. Like you said, wait, what's IRMAA? Exactly.
Mhm.
No advisor is talking to them about it. And I don't know if it's because, and I know a lot of advisors, I passed on my exams. I'm done learning. I'm good. Now I'm just going to advise. And I was like, that's the death rattle
Oh,
of any
yeah.
advisor. I'm not going to learn anymore. I'm good. Let me just do what I know. I was like, no, you can't. So IRMAA is one of those things where it's like, you have to know about it. So those two
Yeah.
things there, I've won over, I would say maybe 30 million in the last like 2 months
Wow.
because they're like, wait, you can help me with tax strategy and this and that. And I'm willing to work with their CPA. And they're like, what? My other advisor didn't want anything to do with my CPA. I said, I'm sorry. But yes, we should all, me, the CPA and the estate planning attorney and the family attorney, we all need to be in the same boat, rowing in the exact same direction. I said, because
Mm.
we're all on your team, right? You have goals. It's our job to work together to attain those goals.
Mhm.
Period. So I have a tax strategy team that I work with that helps me and it'll show, okay, if we keep things as it is, this is going to be your tax bill through age, let's say 95. If we do these strategies, it will be this. Like I just talked to a gentleman yesterday. He was going to be paying over $5 million in taxes. Now it's going to be 1.4.
Oh.
Immediately, he's working with a guy at Chase and a guy at Fidelity. He's like, okay, if you can beat these two guys out, I'll go with you. That's fair. I'll earn your business. Not a problem. So he's like, okay, what are our next steps? What are we doing? I'll send you the paperwork. Like, because I'm willing to address stuff that the other people won't.
Mhm. Wow. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It is awesome. I love it. I love
Yeah.
my job every day.
Yeah, yeah. How do you, promote your in-person seminars?
I use a mail house right now. Right now, I use a mail house. So I didn't know how to do dinner seminars, right? So
Mhm.
I checked out a number of RIAs this year, one of which is out in Arizona. And they flew me out. They wanted, oh, let me check this out. And it was a conference. And I learned how they do dinner seminars. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I said, you know what? I'll buy into your system. Let's try it your way first. So they had this speaker come in and I have my dinners at Fleming's. So it's kind of,
Ooh,
yes, it's pie.
a
Well,
little
again,
better than Red Lobster.
I would guess a little bit more expensive. But it's worth it because if I want to work with high net worth individuals, I cannot invite them to Applebee's.
Yes.
They're just they're like, I'm good, thanks. You invite people to Fleming's, you get their attention. So I use a mail house. The speaker came in and the mail house got, I think, 20, 25 people per night. So I did 2 nights, 20, 25 people to come in. Great. They met the thresholds that I was looking for. Fantastic. The guy spoke for like a half an hour, 45 minutes. He added zero value to the room. What he did was, yeah, it killed me, Chris. It made me uncomfortable. I'm standing there
Oh
going,
no.
if I were in the audience, this would bother me. But he was like, Social Security and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And you need to talk to Maggie. Book an appointment. Book an appointment. Oh, and you should be, checking out Medicare and blah, blah, blah. You should be concerned about income. Check with Maggie. You got to meet with Maggie. Meet with Maggie. And I was like, it was making me physically uncomfortable just standing there going, it's my speaker. Like, great. But then I got approached by one of the couples and he booked the room. I'll give him that. He
Mm,
booked the room. I got 10 different appointments out of it. Great.
wow.
But I didn't feel like we added any value whatsoever. But what happened was when everyone's coming in, I'm greeting them and chit chatting and, hey, can I ask you a question? Yeah, of course you can ask me a question. And then I held class for like 15 minutes because one question led to another, led to another. And then I was like, all right, we're good. Let me introduce you to my guy. And the couple who started all that came up to me afterwards and like, why are you having him speak? They're like, you were more engaging and you know the content. Like you should be speaking.
Mm,
And I thought about it and I was like, yeah, I should be speaking. I was like, I sold high school I sold high school algebra and geometry to teenagers.
mm.
What's the worst that these people are going to do to me? Like, you know,
Yeah.
screw it. I might as well. So I developed my own seminar and I still use the mail house, but I did the speaking in one. So Lead Jig is one of the mail houses and they
Mhm.
mail out and it's like 5,000, 5,500 for like 6,000 pieces. And okay, you're going to hold it here. All right, we're going to go 20-minute driving distance out. And you set different parameters. Like I want them to be a homeowner. They need to have so much in investable assets. I don't know how they come up with these things because how do you know how much investable assets somebody has? Just saying. But they seem to be on point because I'm getting people who have money coming to the seminars. And then they have a whole, you can call in and they have, hi, this is the Alchemist. Oh, dinner. Yes. Monday or Tuesday. And they walk you through it. And I was like, great. And then they'll send out confirmation emails or texts and get people confirmed. And I'll call and I'll confirm with people. So, I mean, it's a fairly good system. I'm looking to pivot away because dropping an additional 5 or 6 grand every month, I'm not a fan. I don't know any business owner who is, but the good thing is, and I'll tell anybody who's looking to do this, guys, it's only like all in, it's about 12 grand. If you sell annuities or if you sell insurance products, that is a drop in the bucket. You need to work with
Mhm.
one person in order to cover that. And you're probably going to end up working with 5 or 6 easily. So it covers itself. A lot of people don't like to spend. I want to make money without spending money. I get that. But this sort of thing, especially if you're developing assets under management, you're talking long-term relationships, you're talking about money in your pocket year in and year out. I'm like, it's priceless. It's worth it. It's worth it.
And you would do what, like one seminar a month or
Yes.
multiple?
So I live in Vermont. We're actually getting snow flurries here today. I was
Whoa.
like, you've got to be kidding me. I live in Vermont and there's not a whole lot of business to be done in my part of Vermont. So I am originally started working in Rhode Island and Mass. So I'll go down to Providence, Rhode Island. I'll hold my seminars on like a
Mhm.
Monday or Tuesday. I'll meet with people for the week in person and then virtually the week or two afterwards. So I'll just stay down in Rhode Island for the week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard because I have 3 tiny humans and I'm married. So
Mm.
it's
Oh,
hard
wow.
being away, but I don't see this as something I'm going to be doing for the rest of my career. But for right now, I mean, it's helping us get stuff done. So
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. No, that sounds like a really like a effective process you have here. You said you're looking to pivot into something. Is it just something a little more reasonable
well,
or what?
pivot because I have marketing people, and I'm sure you have them all the time on LinkedIn. I can help you do this better or whatever. I want to. I invite some of my current people to these dinner seminars.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason being is because some people are working with me and they're busy accumulating and they keep saying, I don't need to plan for retirement yet. I don't need to plan for retirement yet. So I have a number of people who I'm like, yes, yes, you do. Yes, you do need to plan for it. You're 50. You're 50. You're a stone's throw away. What is wrong with you?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they can come and learn about, and then they're like, oh yeah, we need to start planning for it.
Oh,
Yes,
wow,
you
okay.
do. So kind of like, okay. Um,
Yeah.
I also have people who, Matt, I've wanted to introduce you to my friend Sue and her husband Bob.
Ah,
I can't get them to
mhm.
call you, whatever. I was like, invite them to the dinner. Like, you guys are coming, invite them to they can hear me
Yeah,
speak.
yeah.
It's very low pressure. Um, Also on like LinkedIn, I'm connected with a number of different people, a number of
Mhm,
business owners. Great. I would like to invite them to the dinner. It's like we kind of sort of know each other, kind of familiar, but it gives them an opportunity it's a huge value add because I'm going to teach them a whole lot of stuff they don't know about. And in turn, they may be more comfortable actually discussing their stuff with me. So I'm thinking about leaning more towards that rather than the physical mailers. But again, I'm considering. I'm thinking about it. I'm also going to be
yeah.
doing IRMAA webinars because
Mhm,
in the wintertime, older people don't like driving and being in the Northeast.
mhm,
Um, so I'm looking into that as well because a lot of people, that's a topic, that and taxes, huge topic. I would be able to get people to sit for a webinar
mhm.
and then I'd be
Yeah.
able to have my Medicare people and tax people sit in and answer questions potentially. So,
Mhm. Awesome, awesome. Well, Maggie, this has been a freaking blast.
but
You
I've
you
enjoyed it.
are you are, a great teacher even in the midst of a podcast. You're at least my 80th financial advisor guest in this podcast so far, and I learned a tremendous amount.
I'm glad
So
I could help.
so
That's my
thank you so
job.
much for taking the time for sharing your wisdom and experience with me and my audience. My final question for you, Maggie, is an open-ended question. You can take it in any direction that you like, and that question is, what are you working towards?
What am I working towards? Uh, I'm raising 3 tiny humans. We fostered and adopted. So I'm trying to
Oh
make
wow,
them,
it's
uh,
amazing.
help them grow into the best tiny humans and big humans that they can be.
Hmm.
Um, I want to change the direction of wealth in my family. So as I said, I come from a family of teachers. I want to be the generation that shifts it into financial security for my family.
Hmm.
Financial
Hmm.
freedom, not even security. I want financial freedom for my family. And
Hmm.
what I love about this industry is the fact that you can do that and help people at the same time.
Yeah,
So it's not
yeah,
mutually exclusive, which is amazing. So I've
yeah.
recently brought my sister on board. So she's my COO now. God help her.
Cool.
And I brought my brother who turned attorney after English teaching. So he's now our attorney.
Hmm.
So I'm stealing my family members and hopefully their kids, at least 1 or 2 will follow because that way I can build this up
Hmm.
and give it to the next generation, similar to like your dad. He was in this industry and it doesn't sound like you're doing what I'm doing, but he got you
Mhm.
interested in it and you're helping people with it, which is fantastic. But that's what I want. I want for my family. We're going to be doing
Yeah.
a foundation. Um, because as I said, we fostered and adopted our boys. So they all struggled with various things. And we want to do a foundation, create a foundation that is going to help to address some of it. So
Mhm.
good stuff.
Wow, that's amazing, and thank you for doing that. That's such an amazing thing to do, for the world and, for your boys and
But
for you and your family, so
yeah, we are, everyone's like, oh, those boys are so lucky. No, we are lucky. We're lucky to have them in our lives.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah,
lucky they're
that's
cute. Just super
Yep,
cute.
God made them cute. Awesome, and where can my audience find out more about you and everything you're working on?
I'm sure you're gonna provide my LinkedIn. I'm on
Yes.
LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I'll be honest, I don't spend a whole lot of time on any of those platforms. LinkedIn possibly, but not the rest. I just post because when people introduce me to one of their people, they're immediately, who is this Maggie person? And they're gonna Google me and I
Mhm,
want, good things to pop up. Um, yeah, and anyone with questions, guys, feel free to reach out. Um,
mhm.
Yeah, they can reach out. I'll answer questions. I don't mind. I'll share my presentation. I don't mind. There's plenty to
Cool.
go around for everyone, so we don't need to have a scarcity mindset. Work with other advisors,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
people will be better for it.
All ships rise. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Maggie, thank you so much for taking the time. This was a freaking blast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is great. To all my listeners out there, thank you so much for tuning in and keep on growing out there, everybody. See